If your kids play sports, just about any kind of sports, chances are they've played on artificial turf. They look nice, but when it comes to safety...
In this case, perception is not reality.
Do parents know what's actually in this stuff?
No, they have no idea.
It's registering awful high.
That's registering very high.
Yeah.
You should know the NFL mandates testing on every football field before every pro football game. It's to reduce the risk of concussions.
Right in this general area?
Yeah. Andy McNitt and Tom Sorensis are the people who do the testing for the NFL. They also run the Sports Surface Research Center at Penn State University. Here, they study nearly 40 acres of natural and artificial turf. And for each surface, they're able to calculate what's called a Gmax score.
It's really, in layman's terms, how hard that surface is when you fall on it.
The harder the surface, the higher the score, and the higher the risk of a concussion. Researchers say Gmax levels have to be below 200.
At 200, there is a danger that there would be a skull fracture.
203,
216.
222.
Being certified as a Gmax technician, I have to report that that is a dangerous situation. The hardness or firmness of a turf would allow a player to get a concussion much more easily.
How does artificial turf get that hard? Well, it usually has to do with the tiny pieces of ground-up rubber inside the turf. That crumb rubber gives the surface its soft cushion. But over time, the rubber gets compacted, and even worse, it often disappears.
Slowly but surely, that crumb rubber leaves with the athletes. As that crumb rubber leaves, your cushioning leaves, so the surface becomes much harder.
Many schools do not know.
No, they have no idea. And unfortunately, neither do the parents and neither do the administrators in a lot of places.
Well, you can't look at turf fields and say, well, you know, it's $1 million investment, so we don't need to worry about it. I think it's just the opposite. If it's $1 million investment, you better be worrying about it every day.
If they think it's going to be maintenance-free, there's really no one to maintain it.
Stan Mosgrip has been testing and grooming artificial turf fields for years, and he says checking the hardness is just the beginning. Take a look at this. These screws, nails, pins, track spikes, and other sharp metal objects were all pulled from the artificial turf on just one local football field.
You'll never see them. You would not know that they were there unless you did use a magnet or some other form to pull them out.
What else can be hiding in the turf?
Athletes sweat and they spit and they bleed. It can be very unhealthy.
Stan says cleaning the turf with sanitizers or special UV light rays kills harmful bacteria that can cause infection in athletes. But again, some local schools and sports facilities don't do any of this stuff.
Get your head out of the sand.